Good evening, happy thinkers. It's Melissa here with episode 14 of WTF, aka Wednesday Thought Forum. So good evening to you all. And today we are going to be talking about mindset shifts that lead to a happy life. So if you're just joining us, again, we're talking about mindset shifts, it's hard to say, that lead to a happy life. So your mindset seems to be a pretty hot topic nowadays, especially amongst those with teachings or life coaches that are helping with areas of like personal growth or personal development. So think about this. Your mindset, your beliefs, and the way you think override everything that you think about. So I know we've talked about mindsets before, and I just want to kind of give you a little refresher of the actual definition of mindset. And mindset is how you choose to approach any situation. When you have an open, positive, or what they call a growth mindset, then we are able to see possibilities in any situation. However, on the flip side, when you have the mindset that is closed, negative, or what professionals call the fixed mindset, that is when you limit the possibility of any situation being positive. So you're going to have a negative experience. Now, question for you. Did you know that 90% of our long-term happiness is not predicted by the external world, but the way that you process the world? So think about that again. Happiness is not predicted by the external world, but by the way that you process the world. So to sum it up, mindset is everything. So whatever story you tell yourself, that story is going to be what your mind believes. So think about it. The last time you had a negative experience or something wasn't going right, and you start telling yourself your stories, okay, maybe this happened, or maybe they did this because of this. And it really didn't happen that way, but then your mind just starts to believe that. This is a very good reason why we should not spend so much time worrying. I know it's easier said than done, but honestly, we shouldn't be spending all this time worrying. So these stories that we believe or that we concoct in our mind, they end up creating our reality or the actual outcome. So I'm going to share with you guys some mindset tips that I utilized when I went through some of my traumatic events that really helped me out. And again, these aren't limited to, I'm just sharing with what I used to get me through some of my life experiences. Number one is going to be believe in yourself. And this is huge. A lot of people don't believe in themselves. So what you need to do is go from I'm not worthy to yes, I got this. Because not believing in yourself, that is one of the biggest challenges that hold people back. When I was exposed to my mental and verbal abuse in my prior marriage, I was beat down pretty much every day mentally. I didn't believe in myself. I was constantly put down in front of my kids too, which was just horrible. But I believed everything that my abuser was telling me. Now keep in mind, before I met my ex, and anyone who knows me can attest to this, I was a pretty confident woman and I had a lot of common sense. So this whole process didn't just happen overnight. I was slowly manipulated and groomed for years into thinking that I wasn't anything and I need to do everything he said or whatever. The reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to be a little realistic and easy on yourself. You need to cut yourself a break if you feel like this, that you're not worthy or that you don't believe in yourself. So just be patient with yourself. It's a learning process. It didn't happen overnight, so it's going to take a moment for you to get back into the positive mindset. But let it serve as a reminder for you to change your mindset and look for the positive. Again, you have to look for these things. They just don't come upon you. So look for the positive and not the negative. And this is, again, what we call the mindset. Keep in mind, you, each one of you, are uniquely you, and that is your superpower. Number 2 is empower yourself. So you need to go from the mindset that I don't have a choice to I always have a choice. Example, have you ever felt like you were trapped in a situation and there was really no way out, or you didn't think there was no way out? The fact is, you may not have control over these circumstances, but you always have control over these 2 things. Number 1, you have control over your own choices. And number 2, you have control over your attitude or the way you handle those choices. So let's think about choices that you do have. When you're in these situations, you got 1 of 2 types of choices. You have positive or negative. You need to find those positive. Then you need to identify what you actually have control over, because you can't waste your time controlling something you have no control over. A lot of times when we are starting to feel stressed or frustration, maybe fear or anger, that's when we start to lose control. At that point, that's when you need to step back and shift your energy to those factors in which you can control. So number 3, believe in what is possible. So there's a quote I want to share because I love quotes. And again, this was one method that helped me get through a lot of my trauma. Henry Ford wrote the quote, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." So if you don't think you can achieve something, guess what? You're not going to. Everyone has something or must have something to believe in. We always have to have something to believe in. It's just a mental thing. When I was going through my trauma, again, I used quotes, and that helped me with a lot of my beliefs. Positive quotes, and because I had the ability to write, they really helped me out and get through trauma. Otherwise, I don't know what would have happened to me, but here I am. So shift your language from there's no way to there is always a way. Another quote that I enjoy is one by Thomas Edison. And his quote was, "I learned 1,000 ways not to invent the light bulb." So think about that. He used his failures, well, multiple failures, and each one of them was a step closer to his success. So when logic fails us, again, we all have to have a little bit of faith and believe in something. Number 4 is to believe in the good. I don't know if many of you know Tony Robbins, but he is a very inspirational mental and developmental coach, does a lot of life coaching. Doesn't have any license. He's just very natural at this, and he has a huge following. But he has a quote that I found very interesting, and he says, sometimes when things are falling apart, they may actually be falling into place. So I think that's it's a pretty good quote to live by. So what we need to do is we need to stop thinking, why is this happening to me? And maybe substitute that with, why is this happening for me? And again, this is just all mind shift changes. It's a tongue twister. So if I curse because I accidentally say something else, I'm sorry. So again, a mind shift change is just in substituting one word for another. Why is this happening to me? We should substitute it with, why is this happening for me? Number 5 is to live in the moment. The mindset for this and living in the moment is we need to look at life as a continuous journey. Some people think that there's a final destination, but I like to see it that there's no final destination. And I say that because if you're focusing on a final destination, you're going to miss so many opportunities and things that happen along your journey. So look at life as a constant journey of new discoveries. if you look at it again as a final destination, a lot of times you set yourself up for disappointment. So when we're in the present, we need to find opportunities and go with the flow and kind of take advantage of that. I have this saying that my husband always makes fun of me for, but I define the word luck as when opportunity meets preparedness, and I wholeheartedly believe that. So that is part of the journey as well. And I don't see luck as much as you are prepared for something to happen to you in a good way. But also being in the present is powerful when it comes to anxiety and stress. Being in the present actually calms the mind and centers your thoughts. Number 6 is stop the what ifs. Okay, raise your hand out there if you're a what if person. I know that we've all been in some conference or training with someone who's like, what if, what if, what if? It's just draining. Well, guess what? If you're a what if person, you're draining your mental battery. You need to quit thinking of all the what if possibilities. Worrying is never going to change any outcome. Number 7 is a big one. Be true to yourself. Do you know what the number one regret is when we ask our older generation what they regret in life? Studies show that they actually wish they had lived their lives for themselves and not others. So think about that. We have many people getting caught up in societal norms. It's simple to do. A lot of people work long hours and maybe on the road for hours and hardly ever see their families. But they're supporting them, but they hardly ever see them because their job takes them away. Maybe you feel the need that you have to act a certain way or dress a certain way just to fit in with another group that you want to join or something. We often compare ourselves to others too much, and no two situations are the same. I have a lot of people that I work with at State Farm, but that doesn't mean we're the same or we fit in or we have a lot of similarities, but everyone is different in their own way. What you need to do is honor your strengths and play to them. Don't sell yourself short to fit into some place that you don't. Don't settle for that. You always need to work hard and find where you fit in, because there's always a place for someone in some group. And mentally, that's what we want to do. We want to fit into a group somewhere. But again, don't settle just to settle and be in a group. Find one that you fit in. And that gives you more confidence and self-assurance. Know you have faults and accept them. Everyone does. No one's perfect. When you know who you are, then you have a lot more confidence and you have a lot more self-assurance. And people see this. And, it's an attractive trait to people when they see confidence and everything in someone. The last one is develop an attitude for gratitude. And I know we talked about gratitude a lot, but being grateful is probably the simplest yet most powerful thing you can do to live a happy life. Having gratitude has a lot of benefits. It improves relationships and physical, emotional health, sleep and mental stamina, energy, and happiness. So I'm going to challenge everyone for the rest of the days in July. Write down 3 things every day that you're grateful for. If you're having a bad day, pull them out. Read them. I bet you'll feel better after you do that. And it also serves as a reminder to change your mindset to positive. Remember, when you are looking for gratitude, again, you have to look for it. It's something that you do look for. And then I'm going to finish with one final quote. And I posted it recently in the group. You may have read it, you may not. But I'm going to end with, I trust the next chapter because I know the author. So if you like this material, again, you can go to my blog at thankmefirst.com. And we have our Facebook group here. And then if you want additional tips, tricks, hacks, in life, feel free to sign up for my email. I'm currently only sending one a week. If you enjoy them and you want more, let me know. I might be able to change that habit. But anyways, I just wanted to thank everyone for joining me today and taking your time out of your evening. And remember, thank me first, and you guys all have a wonderful day. Thank you.